Let's queer up civil rights. Guess which country supports marriage equality the most? New Pew Research Center analysis shows that Western European countries are most heavily in favor of marriage equality. Pew has conducted surveys in 32 countries in the past 2 years. Support was highest in Sweden, where 92% of respondents favored equal marriage rights for same-sex couples. Other countries in Western Europe were not far behind, with 89% support in the Netherlands, 87% in Spain, 82% in France, and 80% in Germany. Each of those countries has legalized same-sex marriage. In Italy, where legalization is being debated but hasn't yet happened, 73% of respondents endorsed marriage equality. In the United Kingdom, support stood at 74%, and all parts of the UK have enacted marriage equality. The situation was much different in the Eastern European countries. Pew has surveyed with just 41% support in Poland and 31% in Hungary. In North America, 79% of Canadians and 63% of both U.S. residents and Mexicans backed marriage equality. In the U.S., there were stark differences along party lines. 82% of Democrats and Democrat-leaning independents were supportive, compared to 44% of Republicans and Republican leaners.
Let's queer up students and youth. Middle schoolers tell Moms for Liberty, stop bullying LGBTQ plus youth. Students in the Seattle public schools have clapped back at Moms for Liberty, sending the far-right group handmade cards bearing pro-LGBTQ plus messages like LGBTQ plus rights are human rights. Most of the cards use the colors of the rainbow. According to the spokesperson, sending the cards was an independent activity, not part of the school curriculum, and they were sent last spring. The cards came with a letter from Seattle teacher Ann Christensen saying they were from concerned middle school students. However, Moms for Liberty, which campaigns against LGBTQ plus content in schools, supposedly in the name of parental rights, shared several images of the cards this month on its X feed saying the Seattle public schools are indoctrinating and weaponizing children.
Next, let's queer up courts. Tucker Carlson's gay executive producer accused of sexually assaulting another man at Fox News. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson's longtime producer has been accused of sexually assaulting a gay man in 2008 while they were both working for Fox News. On Monday, former Fox News employee Andrew Delancey filed a lawsuit with the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York against Justin Wells, Fox Corporation and Fox News, alleging that Wells used his position at the conservative media company to sexually harass and later assault him. Wells helped launch Carlson's Fox News show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, in 2016 and remained the show's executive producer until both he and Carlson were fired in April. Wells continues to work with Carlson on the host show on X, and Delancey's lawsuit describes him as Carlson's right-hand man. The lawsuit also notes that Fox News has become notorious for its sexual harassment culture. Wells' attorney, Harmeet Dillon, and Carlson are attempting to cast doubt on Delancey's allegations. Carlson has also issued a statement saying, quote, "As a general matter, if you believe you've been a victim of a sex crime, you have a moral obligation to alert police so it doesn't happen to someone else. If you wait 15 years to cash in with a civil suit, no one should take you seriously. I certainly don't," end quote.
Next, let's queer up health. Madonna's Emotional World AIDS Day concert and first days in New York living with the gay community. Madonna has been an icon in the LGBTQ plus community since the 1980s. And this week she proved why what she really thinks about the gay community as she stopped her world tour concert in Amsterdam to make very personal remarks about the gay community and the importance of World AIDS Day. She repeats over and over, "Did you know that? We tribute to our community and all that has been lost to AIDS. So we remember," using Madonna's emotional challenge.
To perform each evening with my children, who mean everything to me. Today is World AIDS Day. Do you know that? Is that important to anybody? Maybe it seems like it's so far away that it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
It's just another holiday. But let me explain something to you. There is no cure for AIDS. People still die of AIDS. Did you know that? Just 5 people said yes. When I first came to New York, I was lucky enough to eventually meet and become friends with so many amazing artists, musicians, painters, singers, dancers, the list goes on and on, writers. And then one day people started getting sick and nobody could understand what was happening. People were just starting to lose weight. People were dropping like flies. They were going to the hospital. Nobody understood what was happening. The news started calling it the gay cancer because it was predominantly in the gay community, which was a terrible shame because I don't know if you understand this right now, but in the early 80s, it was not cool to be gay. It was not accepted to be gay. Did you know that? Yeah. Or do you just take it for granted right now? No. So to be able to stand up and say, I am a homosexual, was a very brave action. A very brave and courageous thing to say and do.
It fucking still is.
Right, but the point isn't really about that. Can you imagine what it was like in that time when being gay was considered sinful and disgusting? When suddenly the vast majority of the gay community started dropping like flies and people were dying everywhere? When I say they were dying everywhere, I'm not exaggerating. Every day I would wake up and hear a new story, a new friend. I'd be visiting someone new. I'd be sitting by their bedside watching them die. Hundreds and hundreds. Meanwhile, nobody in the medical community wanted to do anything about it because they said, well, fuck it, they're faggots. They deserve to die. Yeah, that's what they said. It was a pretty devastating, scary time. And I personally lost so many friends, so many loved ones. I would have cut off my arms if I could have found a cure for them to live. I watched so many people die, male and female, children, straight, gay, etc. Because in those days people didn't test blood in the hospital for blood transfusions. So children were also ostracized if they had HIV. I don't know if you know that. In any case, it was a devastating time, and for me, it was like the whole generation was wiped out. And I watched my very best friend, Martin, die. I was holding his hand. He was suffering so much, he could barely breathe. He wanted me to play Maria Callas. He said, play Costa Diva. And I did. And I said, please, Martin, let go. And I watched his spirit leave his body. And I don't know if you know this, but during Live to Tell, he is the first face that appears. And then there were so many others afterwards. I'm not saying this because I want you to feel sorry for me. I want you to recognize how lucky you are right now to be alive.
All right, next let's queer up entertainment. More than 100,000 fans unfollow Billie Eilish during first 30 days of coming out. It wasn't long after pop singer Billie Eilish came out as queer in an interview that she saw more than 100,000 followers bail from her Instagram account. Eilish told Variety in a profile for last month's Power of Women issue that she never really felt like she could relate to girls very well. She loves girls as people and humans and is physically attracted to them. Variety wrote that for a stadium-selling artist from a different era, such a revelation would have required record label ruminations about the effect it could have on her career. But such concerns still hold some sway in this era, at least regarding social media followings. Eilish's follow-up comments to Variety seemed to worsen the exodus, noting that between the comments appearing on December 2nd and a day later, 428,000 Instagram users hit the unfollow button on the Grammy winners page. Still, the loss of some fans didn't seem to faze Eilish, who did not seek to explain her earlier comments when Variety asked her about her coming out. When approached for comment on the red carpet of Variety's Hitmakers celebration, she said she didn't intend to make a grand gesture of coming out. Rather, she could not believe that people did not know. But when she saw the article, she realized it had happened and she found it cool.
Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.